up left a little bit and pick up Texas and head up Texas.
Looking for their aircraft too.
Roger.
All right, we're going 2 up, 1 back. Does that
Roger.
mean you?
I got it.
So we'll take left and long, and he'll take right and short. Sound good?
Roger. From 16, we're going to waypoint 4. Okay, can you give me a direction then, please? Let's go a little bit further north. Ready to roll, baby. We'll be all right.
Okay. Hey man, I'm flying with the master gunner. Desert Storm veteran. Do you think I'm worried?
We are south of Karbala, heading 200.
Alright, missiles are powered back up.
I've got you inside, I'm going out your right rear. Roger that.
Sure have a lot of people out driving around for this late at night, especially when they know an attack is coming.
Apache pilots are a unique breed of human beings. Technically proficient, tactically proficient. Most of us have some serious IQ levels.
At .053, position confidence on 91 and 2, tracking no satellites.
Alright, you can speed up a little bit, 419.
In a big hurry to get to this battle, aren't you?
It's 606 to Roger. We'll open your rear
What the heck was that?
I don't know. Maybe a bird.
There are no birds out here. How many birds have you seen?
We ask an awful lot of our young officers when we say we need you to go to this location and do this and come back.
We've lost all the satellites, so just make sure we're on the route good. Roger, continue on, move to contact zone.
All right, up there to the left is waypoint 27. That's where we're going to initiate the battle handover.
Hey, 19, I'm going to go ahead and start slowing up here, slow left-hand turn. Straight right to red rally point.
All right, here's the battle handover.
Hey, 16 to 19, still back here. Yeah, this is 16, we're still back here. Just don't like the fact that we had to fly over goddamn city.
In a perfect world, you go in, you do your mission, you get your objective, and you come home. In a perfect world.
Yeah, lights just went out to your left low. What'd you say, lights? Yeah, the city lights to your left went out. It's back on. What the hell's happening here?
Heavy enemy fire.
Look at Hammer, we need the whole air out of here, brother. Okay, we got hit in the fucking tail. Whoa, that's all right. Taking fire, we're taking fire. We've been hurt multiple times, but we're still trying to make it. I'm hit. Break, 06. 19 has been hit, his front seater has been hit.
But this ain't a perfect world.
The thing about the Apache is it's a mission, not an aircraft. Attack is a mindset. It's about supporting the soldier on the ground.
For that 18-year-old kid on the ground with a rifle in his hand, we are there for him.
We knew we were a valuable asset to the guys on the ground, and our role is to go up and protect them from that attack.
2-3 Alpha, this is 2-6. We're gonna need some suppression on landing on spur.
you're clear. Sorry, fucker.
It is the most sophisticated attack helicopter in the world, and there's a lot of people that don't want to be on the receiving end of it.
Give us your situation and what you need us to put fire on. Roger there in the orchard to our east. And they're all throughout there. Anything you can fire up in there would be great. Rolling.
There's no room for error when you're putting missiles, rockets, and 30s in close proximity to soldiers that are maneuvering on ground. Means that you got to be a damn good pilot.
Come over our guys a little bit and shoot into it, okay? Go ahead, fire with that. 1-6, just fire and sure.
Once you pull that weapons trigger and it goes into a target, that target will die. You have to be prepared to make that decision. Kill something every day just to maintain proficiency.
So in an Apache helicopter, it's what we call a tandem configuration.
Front seater's primary goal is to fire the weapon systems. The back seater is the primary pilot who keeps the aircraft in flight. You have got to be able to manage everything as a crew, and you only have nanoseconds in some cases to make it happen.
We tried to assign an aircraft to 2 pilots and a crew chief. Crew chiefs are some of the hardest working soldiers, and they have a lot of pressure and stress on them because they are essentially responsible for making sure that the aircraft that you and this other pilot are going to get into is going to come back safe.
It equates to, long days and hot days, and the most important thing to us is making sure that we can put safe aircraft in the air.
It shapes who you are right there the first time you hear everything going on. Then you see it launch and you're like, wow, that was me. Exhilarating and scary at the same time because you start to think to yourself, did I tighten that bolt? Did I use the torque wrench? Did I drop the torque wrench? Oh my God, was the TI on point that day? Oh, the pilots are, oh, that looks so cool. That looks so, hope the blades don't fall off.
Udairi was somewhat austere when we got there. It was obviously still under construction. I think they had the runway down. They were still working on the apron. There was a couple of hangars up, and the food was good there until the chow hall burned down.
And there's just black smoke rolling up, and it's the chow hall, and we're all laughing, and then we realize that's the fucking chow hall.
Waking up to go eat breakfast and seeing smoke billowing from one of the tents, and it's like, well, I'll just go to the other one. And all of a sudden that one went up, and it's like, uh-oh, we're not gonna eat anymore.
There were tears shed when the chow hall burned down.
The wind is blowing from my right to my left in a westerly direction.
All 3 chow hall tents burnt down in less than 15 minutes. Full standing to nothing, just ash. And that's kind of like a unifying factor that the original invasion force has, is anybody was there during those dates, you just say, remember when the chow hall burnt down?
I think morale took a hit that day.
We knew what it was that we were going to do on our first 2 or 3 missions. Some of that was even planned all the way back in Germany before we even deployed. And we were busy rehearsing our first mission.
Our plan was to execute a maximum destruction mission. In other words, we were going to have all 3 troops attack simultaneously.
A lot of our training was derived from the types of combat operations that came from the 1991 Desert Storm deep attack, our training scenarios, the types of targets.
Already in 10. Okay, a little bit of left pedal. Response for you, Saddam. Yes. I see people running around now. All right.
Go to a certain area, hover, scan the area, shoot some hellfire at it, turn back around and come back.
They lined up, they saw the enemy, they fired on the tanks. Woohoo, we all, you know, this is all great. We turned around and went back.
Hold her steady.
That mission is solidified going in deep. It solidified some of the theories in how to go in beyond the forward line of troops and take the fight to them without them knowing you're even there until things start blowing up.
That was all very much a part of the scenario, part of the construct of how you do a deep attack. So it created the framework that we used in our understanding of how that was done.
We flew it, we rehearsed it, we did it during the day, and then we were doing it at night.
I mean, we would set up these huge terrain boards and go through these very in-depth rehearsals. And they would even include, you know, the radio communications. Hey, you, I'm here. Hey, this, I've got left, you've got right. I mean, we would go through the entire mission as we saw it would unfold.
Probably need to turn right. Turn right. Go around, deviate to the east. Turn right.
Probably the most rehearsed mission I've ever participated in my 28 years in the Army.
I don't think I was ever more prepared to go on a mission than we were at that point in time.
There was a sense that as we were going through the training, we're going to be the ones at the tip of the spear. And it just kind of had a sense of destiny that we're going to be called upon to go do something important.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. Now that conflict has come, the only way to limit its duration is to apply decisive force. And I assure you, this will not be a campaign of half measures, and we will accept no outcome but victory. May God bless our country and all who defend her.
The very first mission that we had was an attack near Talil.
And our job was to basically conduct an attack, destroy everything defending that airfield so that it couldn't threaten the highway, threaten 3ID as they moved north in the march to Baghdad.
And in order to make it back, we didn't have enough fuel to go in and attack the target and be able to make it back to our base at Udari. So the key part of this was that Chinook helicopters were going to be used with fuel tanks loaded in the back, and a forward arming and refueling point would be set up with these Chinook aircraft that would allow the Apaches to come in, get just enough fuel quickly to get them out of Iraq.
The 19th rolls around, and we did not have the weather minimums we needed to execute the mission.
The Chinook aircraft that were our get-home plan were not able to go. That was a mission abort criteria, so we had to turn around the aircraft. There was a real sense that we had let our soldiers on the ground down. And the idea that they might be taking fire as they went by Talil, and they did, because we hadn't been able to accomplish our mission, that really bothered us. I don't care what happens. By God, we're not going to allow that to happen a second time.
It affected the decisions that we made, you know, a couple of days later. The next morning, they were saying, hey, we've got another mission. Initially, we thought, all right, we're plan it and rehearse it and execute it the way we'd done for the 19th. And then we found out that, hey, this one's going off on the 23rd. And our resources that we had available to us for planning and rehearsing for the 19th weren't there.
You pull into 7-6 there. You're basically, I think, if I remember right, at the back, you're about 6 kilometers out.
We were very, very focused on the planning of that next mission. Very different scenario, because now we're going to fly over a populated area. And we're going to fly over an area that is defended. This is going to require some brute force.
It was going to be an attack against the Medina Division artillery and armor in and around the city of Karbala. The Corps commander is very concerned about 3ID getting bogged down right there in a potential kill zone. And so he wanted to destroy any forces that could contribute to that happening to 3ID.
There's a lot of planning that goes into a successful deep attack. You have to have a logistics package that is pushed as far forward as possible so that you can stop, hit a forward arming refuel point or a FARP.
The convoy would leave ahead of us, and they'd go out and they'd get the field site all set up, and then the Apaches would fly in and we would land and we would set up camp there, basically.
It's tough in me. Don't think it's going to be good in me tonight.
The absolute key part of this was the fuel and our communications. Two things that had to come together in this assembly area so that we could get the latest intelligence, help us understand where the enemy forces had maneuvered to, and of course, we'd flown all the way across Iraq to get to this assembly area. We had aircraft that would need a lot of fuel. A lot of things had to happen in exactly the right order, synchronized, so you could get the combined effects of all those things. Because if those things didn't align, bad things were gonna happen. As we were getting ready to go launch our attack, I remember thinking about what an incredible diversity of talent and experience that we had. We had a Vietnam veteran, we had Desert Storm veterans, but we also had brand new, just out of flight school aviators.
I think I was 22 or 23 at the time. I never had any aspirations to join the military, and I did a 4-year ROTC scholarship at UCLA. And upon graduation, I owed the military 4 years for 4 years of college, essentially. I wanted to go to medical school, took the MCAT, didn't think I did well enough on it to actually get in. So I said, what does the military want for me to do? I applied for Medical Service Corps, MI, and Aviation. And I applied for Aviation because they told me if you put Aviation down, it's not your first choice, you'll never get it. So I said, oh, well, this will guarantee me the other choices, kind of like a wasted, choice. And we had an Apache pilot that was one of our instructors, and he put a letter in without me knowing saying, you should really get her into aviation. This is, a good fit, which I didn't know he had done. And I got branched aviation. That's a 6-year commitment. That commitment doesn't start until you graduate from flight school, which takes a year to 18 months. And at that point, I'm just like, oh my God, 8 years of my life, how could I have possibly gotten myself into this?
Attack Princess Extraordinaire, that was her nickname.
can see the little tiara, and then it says, you know, Attack Princess in the red, white, and blue.
Hey man, I'm flying with the Master Gunner. Desert Storm veteran. You think I'm worried?
No, you're fine with the Squadron SP, but thanks anyway.
Brian Stuman. He was in the first Gulf War and is probably one of the best pilots that the Army could have had. If he were afraid on any of our missions, I would not have known. You know, he was very confident, very comfortable in the aircraft.
How you doing up here, LT?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Not bad.
All right.
Still gotta fucking do a dirt landing though.
I joined the military because I wanted to do something in aviation. Father was a crop duster. That's where my love for aviation kind of came from. I want to be a crop duster, though.
You have two types of pilots. You have your commissioned officer pilots, the captains, the majors, who are the company commanders. And then you have the warrant officer pilots. And they're very, very different. The culture is very different. Your warrant officer pilots are, you know, they're your primary pilots, your instructor pilots. They're the ones that train you. They have some fantastic mustaches, and they've got some great attitudes and personalities. You know, so while, you know, I was a lieutenant and a captain in charge, I'm flying with a warrant officer with so much more experience. He's really the one that's training you and getting you where you need to be.
Captain Mace came to us before we actually went to Iraq, which was a weird transition for all of us. We thought if you get the word to go to combat, you're thinking you're going to bring the same commander you've been training with for the past 7 months. So when they changed right before we go to Iraq, we were all like, what the hell are they doing? We hadn't trained with this guy at all. He doesn't know how we operate.
Captain Mace had a rough road to hoe. Brand new. No one knows the guy. We know he's a West Pointer. There's a certain amount of reputation that comes along with that, some good, some bad. He had to show everybody that, A, he cared about them all equally, and that he was proficient at his job, and that he understood how to take care of people.
How were when we read this badge? Bravo's in our hand. Bravo's in your hand. Okay, so my question becomes, what is right? The PR guys are the same way. They thought, yep.
I think before we went across the berm, he had made his footprint, that he had sown his standard into the troop, and the troop knew what he expected, and that he was, in fact, the troop commander, no doubt.
Ready to roll, baby.
Me and Bob Duffney were the lead aircraft for the whole regiment.
Neil was one of our new aviators. He had the right kind of mentality, kind of a bravado, that really was the kind of guy that you want to have leaning forward in the front seat of an Apache with their hands on the weapon system.
It was a pretty hard transition, though, I can't lie to you, from being in the Marine Corps with that mentality, but then going into walk school where you had a little bit more relaxed atmosphere. And it was just being full of that Marine gusto.
And Bob Duffney, his pilot, is a larger-than-life figure. And the two of them together in a cockpit was a winning combination.
My grandfather was also an aviator, and my uncle was an aviator. I actually joined to get my college paid for. I defaulted on the agreement my dad and I had about getting good grades. Before I even went home and told my dad what my grade point average was working out to be, I went and talked to the recruiter. I had started out thinking I was going to fly Blackhawks. My wife and I had talked a couple of times. She's like, fly the Apache, it's sexy. I'm like, okay.
Jason King was actually my liaison officer in my S3 section of the squadron before he went down with Brian Mace to take over as a platoon leader. He was in the 75th Ranger Regiment. He brought that mindset and that sense of responsibility that you have as an Apache pilot to supporting a soldier on the ground.
The convoy pushed us to the limit. I think it was 4 days, nonstop driving. We were always in a kill zone. Our convoys were constantly getting probed.
We would drive at breakneck pace and then stop. And we would be stopped for hours, and you never knew how long you were going to be stopped for. I didn't change my socks for 4 days. I didn't change my underwear for 4 days.
It pushed you to the brink of insanity. Trying to stay awake because you're frightened.
It's, 100+ degrees outside. It's miserable, and I basically passed out in the back of the Humvee.
Wake up.
I see them call something
wake up.
over the bridge.
And I wake up, and I look, and we are in a town.
Or RKG. I don't think it was a hand grenade.
Everybody in that town had come out to see us. And so we are now surrounded by people. And I'm 21 years old at the time, and we are scared shitless. Because all it takes is one dude in that crowd that doesn't want us to be there to open up, and there's nothing we could do. Turns out we were sitting and waiting for the armored vehicles to roll past us because we had gotten ahead of them somehow. Then here come the Apaches.
We'd flown all the way across Iraq to get to this assembly area, and there was nothing. We were the first to get there. It was just dirt.
We landed, and it was like talcum powder dust.
Well, from my perspective, it's pretty evident that we wasn't going to take off that night. There was 5 abort criteria. These are the things, if this happens, we're not going to go on the mission.
One of them doesn't go, then you don't go.
Every one of those 5 things happened.
A Hemet tanker came over and started refueling the aircraft for the mission that night. And at some point in time, he was out of gas.
All the trucks with the fuel are still back in a convoy, still waiting to come up. So right off the bat, an entire third of the combat power of our unit was gone.
We didn't have any kind of communications with higher headquarters. We didn't have a current intel.
We posed for some pictures with our 9mm like we were pulling security because we were the only ones out there at that time. In reality, that was probably not that funny.
We were already well behind our planned timeline for executing the mission.
The moon was at its zenith that night, and I think it was 98% illumined. So anybody that was standing on the ground looking up could see the helicopters.
There's a picture of all the pilots sitting around in chairs and everything, and we're all like this, And the caption was going to be, here we are at war. Well, we were all pretty much asleep because we knew we wasn't going to fly that night because all this stuff had happened.
But regardless, it was an important mission. We got to set the conditions so that 3ID can roll through that carbolic gap.
A short time later, here comes Captain Mace, out of breath with maps and drawings, and he laid everything out.
Decision was made to go.
The thing I remember the most is that there really wasn't a place where you could say, where's our central rally point? Where are we going to be? There was one pile of rocks and dirt, this mound.
And we kind of likened that to the ant mound, and we were soldiers once and young.
So on top of this pile of rocks, we put up a single chem light.
And that was our rally point. And we got everybody around, and we said a prayer.
Almighty God, you're the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the omnipotent God. Lord, I thank you for what you blessed us to achieve thus far. God, cause us to reign in victory tonight, defeat the enemy victoriously, and then bring each pilot and aircraft back safely. This I ask in your son's name. Amen.
I was flying with the FLIR, and I had Jason King in the front seat with goggles. So I'm pulling the power to get the aircraft off the ground, and we're totally browned out, and I couldn't see through it at all.
Holy shit.
Finally get up out of the cloud, and there was a huge sense of relief. It's like, well, all right, the most dangerous part of the mission's done now. So.
The first troop to take off was Bravo Troop.
Okay, now from here, where do we go? Let's go a little bit further north. Okay. Yeah, we've got inside. We're still moving forward at this time.
And then myself with our Black Hawk helicopter. I also had another Black Hawk helicopter with me that was in trail that had our flight surgeon in there.
Slow up, we're like 65 knots. I'm at 65 knots. I know, that's what I'm saying. We need to slow down. Oh, there's waypoint 4. Roger. To the right. Coming to the right, Mike. To waypoint 4. Roger. The red team is up at the airfield right now. Looks like 4's got nothing in it. Colorado 19, 6-03. 19, go ahead. Who's your wingman? My wingman is Tail Rider 16. Okay, we're seeing what looks like berms. Okay, 19, we can see the berms, but we don't see anything in them yet. Troop Internal. 1606, go ahead. Roger, targets 15 and 16 are clear, over. Roger. 6, roger. Okay, what is that? 6, go under 09, white. That's a vehicle. And any white rally point. Is that a vehicle? Raise it, dude. How far is it? 5K. Okay, we got a vehicle, 09, in the city on the airfield. Roger. Is that a vehicle or building? It's a vehicle, it's got wheels. Hey, you didn't see anything at target 26? No. What the fuck is that? Can't even tell that's a damn vehicle. That's a building. Looking at the airfield, I don't see shit. How about you? We saw what might have been one truck, but no tanks. Yeah, we thought it was a truck at first, too. 0616, the airfield is clear. There is no contact at the airfield. Roger, continue on. Move to contact in zone. Roger, moving.
We called the airfield clear and started to go north.
When we flew up the route, it was eerily quiet. It was almost as if we were on a training mission. I was a month away from my 20th year in the Army. I'd never been in combat before. And I thought, wow, is this what combat really is?
At .053, position confidence on INU-1 and 2, tracking no satellites.
Hey, 06, check your position confidence.
I'm going to pull out the map.
Not right now.
Okay.
When you do a deep attack, you're supposed to know exactly where the enemy is. In this case, we did not have grid locations of the enemy.
So we ended up planning a movement to contact. And we wanted to establish contact and find the enemy with the minimum force necessary. And that was going to be Bravo Troop.
Bravo Troop, with the leadership that was in the troop, was known from our training to be the best at doing the maneuver to contact. The cavalry mission suited Captain Mace and the leaders and the warrant officers in that troop very well.
And then I was going to bring in Charlie in the north and Alpha in the south. They're going to receive a battle handover from Bravo. They're going to continue that movement to contact and destroy everything in zone.
All right, missiles are powered back up.
If you will relay, the Archers have just a combat power of 3. They had one aircraft with a hard shutdown during crank, and another aircraft that had an accident on takeoff. Minor, nobody hurt. Over.
6 Roger.
Had we all gotten refuel, we would have been a flight of 7. We didn't get enough refuel, so we were down to a flight of 5. One breaks on crank, one crashes on takeoff, so now we're down to 3. Is the attack force coming in to get the enemy that the first company was supposed to locate.
The Bravo troops real excited that we're only coming up with 3 aircraft.
I was the platoon leader. We've got to quickly revamp who's taking care of this job now, because we all had individual responsibilities in the aircraft. So you have to really quickly come up with a new plan.
All right, up there to the left is waypoint 27. That's where we're going to initiate the battle handover.
Okay, I got vehicles on the road up there. You got them? Or is that helicopters? What is that?
Which way? Give me a direction.
Left, 6 over.
We'd always envisioned that we would come in over the lake, but the plan changed, and the 101st Airborne Division came in, and they suddenly owned the area that we had originally envisioned that we were going to maneuver in. So about half of the battle space went away on the west side. And then to the east of us, the battle space went away to the Air Force. This narrow corridor became the area that we had to operate in to go up and attack the Medina Division.
Sure have a lot of people out driving around for this late at night, especially when they know an attack is coming.
Right now, we got the Archers approaching checkpoint 29. 606, Roger. We'll open your rear
What the heck was that?
I don't know. Give me a bird.
There are no birds out here. How many birds have you seen? Brian, I think someone took a pop shot at us.
Well, it didn't hurt.
I can't feel my legs. What do you mean it didn't hurt? Oh my God.
You're killing me, Lieutenant.
This is not funny, Brian. I feel anything below the waist.
Oh.
Oh my God.
It's probably just a bird.
In a big hurry to get to this battle, aren't you?
When you have a mission like a deep attack like that and you encounter enemy en route, generally you're just going to bypass that enemy and go, because that's not as important as where you're going.
Scanning. Shooter 3, Pale Rider 29.
The first time I heard a round hit the cockpit, I thought we were actually hitting bugs. And it sounded, I'll tell you what it sounds like when you're driving down the highway and they kick a rock up and hit your windshield, and that hard tap, like tap. That's exactly what it sounded like.
What was that? I'm gonna take break right. Get the fuck away from me. 06, and also red team is moving. 06 one time. We're taking fire from to the south of our RB, or our rally point. We're breaking north at this time. Archer 26, Archer 6, be advised, we took a tracer round about 1 click back right over the nose of the aircraft, so keep your head in a swivel. Roger. Maybe it wasn't a bird. Getting a little sporty, isn't it?
I'm not scared.
Oh, ain't no reason to be scared. You're flying with the master gunner.
All right, if I see tracer rounds, I'll try and call out the direction.
Okay.
I should be able to see it under goggles.
I was on night vision goggles in the front seat, and my backseater was on the FLIR, the forward-looking infrared, because we thought that would maximize our ability to see the enemy. I could see the lights, he could see the heat, and I'm seeing all these tracer rounds coming up towards the aircraft, and he's not seeing any of it.
Okay, we're getting shot at.
Damn, I don't see them. Goggles are picking them up.
Yeah, they're bright under the goggles. Yeah, oh, you can see them. They're like red. They're red. The red,
No, I can't see them. I just said I could.
Okay, well, I'm telling you what they look like under...
So the front seater starts announcing tracer fire off in the distance. Well, back seater cannot see that tracer fire.
All right, LT. Don't tell me what is that. You tell me what you think it is, okay?
Okay, I see bright white lights shooting up from the ground about 5 to 10K out.
You do right now?
Yep, but they're to the left of us.
I'm out your left rear. I got you in sight. Okay, we're taking fire straight off our nose. Brake right. There you go. Damn it. I thought they'd been pounding this fucking area. Whatever happened to that?
At this point, we were still fighting an active enemy with all of his full capabilities. So you want to be as low as possible to avoid the radar. In that case, it puts you right down in the small arms envelope. So our routes, height-wise, when we're going in and out, we were probably 100 feet or below.
As we're flying over these towns, I started to recognize what was shooting at us. And it was literally people in the backs of pickup trucks. It was people on the street. We would see Iraqis with weapons in the backs of trucks with kids. We had a lot of speeches by leadership that said, you know, be careful what you fire at, what you shoot at. You know, positive identification is key. You know, don't think you're gonna get out there and just start shooting at anything that might be shooting at you.
You'll get every digit of your tapes after this mission. Because you can just imagine the desire to see what's happening and to evaluate it, frankly.
And it caused them some concern over whether, when a difficult situation would come up, would somebody be second-guessing their actions.
Okay, we're getting shot at. I don't know where it came from.
Fire back there.
Okay, if you look under your eye, you'll see these red lights.
A lot of anti-aircraft fire here on the route in. I'm not worried about it.
Okay. Well, I see him, and I was scared.
Got the archers. We're deviating. Give me a bird page. OG pound. 6 kilometers short of checkpoint 8.
OG is 96.
Over. Okay.
You go and make decisions off of information you're provided. Sometimes your information's great, spot on, no hiccups. You go in, you do your mission, you come out, no harm, no foul. Sometimes your information is not that great.
All right, they're coming from behind us. Fire from the rear. What are they, firing these out of their backyards?
I fucking hear that shit. We're getting so close, I hear the fucking rounds going off before I see the tracer.
I know.
It was more built up than I had expected it to be. We were actually in an urban area. There's lights all over the area.
Hey, 16 is 19. You still back there? Yeah, this is 16. We're still back here. We just don't like the fact that we had to fly over the goddamn city.
The maps that we had were very old at that point in time. And I think it was dated 1992.
Just get past the city, man, because there was fires. Just a little bit ago, I could see fires coming from both sides. 1906. He's climbing. I'm not sure what for. This is 19. We are on standby.
And just as we were turning to the west, every light for as far as you could see went out.
It became completely pitch black.
Yeah, lights just went out to your left low. What'd you say, lights? Yeah, the city lights to your left went out. What the hell's happening here?
When the lights came back on, all hell broke loose.
It's back on.
That was the sign for everyone who had a gun to walk outside and just start shooting in the air.
Oh, what are those?
What?
Don't see the lights flashing up, shooting up from the ground?
We're right by
a whole bunch of them?
Where?
Right off the nose.
The archers, I think we probably need to turn right. We're taking small arms fire at this time. Okay, we're taking fire straight off our nose. It's heavy enemy fire. Taking fire, we're taking fire. Coming right, Mikey.
Damn it. Oh, my. They're right
I don't see him. I don't have guns.
Keep coming right. Keep coming right.
Right, and come right of Baseline, Texas. Remain east of Baseline, Texas.
Tracer rounds like fireworks. It was unreal.
Break right, break right. Roger, we're breaking right. We're taking fire.
Looking a little ranky bastards. They're getting a little snippy here, aren't they?
Tell me I'm clear to start shooting.
Hey, 06, did you see that? Roger. We're getting hammered, dude. We need to haul ass out of here, brother.
It was everywhere. No matter which way you move, left, right, up, or down, it was all coming at you. And so the best thing you could do was just fly straight.
19 Roger. We're seeing fire come up the left also, so we're going to try to go right down the center. We got hit in the fucking tail. Okay. We got utility hydraulic level. Okay. Bob, 6. Tell them what we're doing. 1-6 is head to the south of where we're at. We're taking fire from underneath of us. Dude, fuck. Keep on going, dude. Keep on going straight. Keep on going. Mikey, we're taking fire. There's wires, dude.
We knew that there was the Medina Division. What we didn't know was that the Republican Guard Infantry Divisions that were actually on the north side of Baghdad had been moved and placed to the south. Hundreds and thousands of soldiers everywhere underneath us in corners of fields and tops of buildings, and at that point in time, the hunter became hunted.
I can feel it under my feet.
What, hitting the aircraft?
Yeah.
Or go on and try a different route and then head back to the DAA.
So we ain't giving up yet.
Situation's deteriorating pretty quickly. We're taking some intense fire. But you have to remember, these are all people who are absolutely focused on getting to that objective. There's no turning back. You know, we'd turned back on the previous mission, and nobody wants to turn back.
Roger, let's continue, and we'll see what we got here. So what do you say?
We'll continue and stay what we got. Pretty heavy populated up there too, but there's no way around it.
2606 is coming to the left just a little bit. Stay away from the lights off the right-hand side.
As we were making our reconnaissance to the west, somehow our wingman got in front of us, being Mike Tomlin and Jason King.
Reaper, position off falls. Oh shit. Break left. Come left, left. What? You just fucking dropped. You just shot the aircraft in front of us. I didn't see where it was coming from. Rider 29. Alright, you're speed up a little bit more, 19. I'm taking a little bit more fire than I'm used to. Okay.
Left Finch, waypoint 4, over.
Right, we're taking more fire for that city over there.
Fondo acknowledged. Fondo acknowledged.
For the right.
Mike Tomlin returned fire, and apparently this guy was sitting next to an LP gas tank. So he put the crosshairs on him, looked at him, pulled the trigger, aiming at the guy, hit the gas tank, and the whole gas tank exploded.
When we came out of the ball of fire, essentially, we were going backward and down, and we were able to get the aircraft back under control and move forward.
Okay, that was a suicide mission. I ain't doing that no more. God damn it. You hanging with me, Mike? All right. 4-6. 6 years. 438. This is beginning to suck real bad. Yeah, it is. Stand by. Take it easy up there. Roger. 19. This is 16 out of here. No, Rider 6. 606. Over. Oh shit! Taking fire to the right. Break right. Now we've been hurt multiple times, but we're still trying to make it. We've taken 4 hits. Roger, we're taking fire.
More and more aircraft are experiencing significant issues, loss of engines, hydraulics. It occurred to me that we were not going to bring all the aircraft back.
Tower 6, recommend you stay east of Owl. Okay, that thing came right across in front of us. What's the matter? Keep going, keep going, keep going. Continuing on back out. Fuck! I'm hit, Blake. leg up here. All right. Well, hold on. More internal. 603, foot to engage. Sir, artillery, or you where are you hit, sir? Over. In the neck. All right. We've been occupied to the west. 06, break, 06. Has been hit. His front seater has been hit. Archer 6. You just keep talking to me. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get in there, but I think more fire from the south or the left. Roger. Yes. 606, Archer 6. Still with me, 29. I mean, 16. Archer 6. Yeah, this is 16. We're still with you. You need to call 06, tell him that 16 has been hit, and we need to get medical attention to the front seater as soon as possible.
16 is hurt. 16 was shot in the neck.
Point 2 is
16. Tail rider 16, which is Lieutenant King.
And it's hard to put your head around this thing and really wrap your mind around it, but it has now changed to a fight for survival.
All right, 19. You got to take us back where you have 116. Oh shit! He has been hit. We need to find out if that Raj is tenable for us to take him away. Do you understand? Okay, utility hydraulic level.
We realize this isn't a question now about whether or not we're going to accomplish the mission. This is now a question of whether we're going to get out of here.
Are you still there, sir? Roger, I'm here. All right. How bad are you bleeding? I need to know how bad you're bleeding. There's quite a bit of blood. I got you inside your arm left.
The voices in my head were getting really loud at this point, and I just wanted to start talking on the radio, but there was so much other anxiety that I waited.
I recognize, hey, this mission has changed. From destroying armor and artillery, which from everything I could see wasn't there in the objective area, to preserving combat power to live and fight another day. And so at that point, I gave the order to egress.
606, Sergeant 6. Significant ground fire. Looking for your authorization to go ahead and egress back to TAA. Affirm, Archer 6. Yeah, I concur.
Typically, you're going to have multiple routes in and out. But for this particular mission, we had one. One route in, one route out.
We navigated the gauntlet. Now we got to go right back through it.
This time, head to the west of the route. Last call. Understand, west of the route. White team. Are you going to be okay, sir? Side of the route. I don't know. Egress back to the south. All right. How bad can you're talking to me? Roger. All right, keep talking to me, okay? Roger. We are egress at this time. Hey, 19, did you hear 06? Everybody's egressing at this time. Keep your eyes out. Did he think he could make it back to the assembly? I don't know. Hey, sir. Yeah. Can you make it back to the assembly area and get attention there? We're talking a half-an-hour flight. Say again?
Jason, at that point, he wasn't talking. When you're in the back of the Apache and at night, there's nothing. You can't see anything. You're separated by a very thick blast shield, so there was no way for me to be able to confirm what was going on in his front seat. You know, in my mind, his portion of the aircraft was gone.
Hey, what am I going to do with this aircraft?
What I knew was that he was not able to respond verbally with Mike Tomlin. Now you have an incapacitated crew member in your front, and at the same time, you're experiencing, you know, intense fire coming at you from the ground, rounds slamming through your cockpit, decisions that you have to make continuously, evaluating what's the right thing to do, how to keep fighting and flying the aircraft. A real tribute to a man like him is that that would be overwhelming for most people.
We were going to fly to a restricted operating zone, or ROZ, and they were going to land a medevac Black Hawk, and then that medevac aircraft would have took Lieutenant King wherever he needed to go to get treatment. And Major Christensen was going to get in the front seat of Mike Tomlin's aircraft, and then they were going to go back.
And I thought that was probably the quickest way to get Jason out of there and the surgery or whatever it was that he was going to need at that point.
How you doing, Mike? Still back there? Yeah, Ryder 1. Yeah, we're still back here. Have you found anything out about the ROZ and where we can go for medical attention? Roger, I'm talking to Kingfish right now. I'm trying to coordinate where we can stop off at his ROZ and get some medical attention. All right, this is still enemy territory. I know it's still enemy territory. The ROZ is way down there, dude. At this time, Lord. Hey, what am I going to do with this aircraft?
Roger, call me when Tail Rider 16 is ready to land.
This is still enemy territory.
You want me to put someone else in his seat, or is the airplane going to go home single pilot? Turn off the brake.
We get down closer to where we're going to drop King off. You can pick up Major Kirsten. And by the time we got down there, we were just getting hammered.
Heavy enemy fire. This person's not going to fly very much longer. I have no fucking... The gun is failed. That up here was the sporty part of the route.
Yeah. Hey, we're taking fire again.
Oh!
Okay.
We might have got a fucking photo out of that fire.
Breaking left. I got it.
We're getting shot at here. Yeah,
I can feel it under my feet. Can I shoot the gun if we start taking fire again?
You damn if you can.
Right.
If you see where it's coming from, don't just fucking start shooting
as
for
soon
no
as the
reason.
aircraft starts shooting, they're gonna stop shooting at me.
We actually had an RPG coming at the aircraft. I mean, I saw this white light coming at us, and Mr. Stuman didn't see it.
Oh shit.
What?
Brake right, brake right. Roger, we're braking right, we're taking fire.
Oh, shit. Hell, we just about got hit.
Nice maneuvering.
Fucking them promises went close.
Yeah, oh my.
Negative.
All right. We're taking fire, we're taking fire. Brake left.
My gun has failed. My gun has failed. So I need you, whenever you see those tracers, if you're front seater or if you just put it on HMD, at least put some suppressive fires out, and that'll keep them from shooting quite so much. Over.
Fucking on. All right, you little fuckers. Come on, shoot at me again. Bring it. Damn it.
3 times we tried to get that Hawk landed in a place where we could do the crew swap. 3 times they started taking RPG and machine gun fire. We never got that done. I mean, I just couldn't lose, 11 folks on that Black Hawk trying to make that happen. Because again, at that point, we didn't know if Jason King was even alive.
Yes, he's already on the road there. Okay, the location. Roger and fire from. I don't know if the rise is tenable, sir. All right, 19, go back to the assembly area. Understand? Go back to the assembly area. Have the
now with tail riders.
Oh, God. Okay, stay right to the route a little bit.
What happened?
They said tail rider 6, they haven't heard from him, they think he's down. Somebody, tell us where tail rider 6 is.
Mikey, you still with us? Mikey. 1-6, this is 1-9 on uniform. This is Light Horse 1-6, 1-9 on uniform. Mikey. 1-6 is 1-9 on uniform. Here, 6 over. Shit.
Damn it.
Are you alright up there?
Yeah, I'm fine. What can I do up here? There's like...
You just hang tight.
Okay. Somebody let us know what's going on up there.
Mikey. 1-6, this is 1-9 on uniform. Hey, 1-9, this is 1-6, I'm still back here, man. Oh, goddamn. Can you hear me on uniform? Negative, we don't have comms on uniform right now. We're seeing fires from our left also, that's why we are not going more left.
We taken around through the load maintenance panel, and for some reason, our radios came offline. And there was a point in time where I lost all ability to communicate to any aircraft.
How you doing, Mike? Still back there? Tail Rider 1. Yeah, we're still back here. Keep talking to me every couple minutes on there, still back there. Make me nervous. Roger, I'll keep an open line of communication.
What you found was just a lot of individual heroism in terms of what those pilots were doing to try to mutually support each other. They would see something that would be attacking their lead aircraft, they would try to suppress that, and it was just a fight all the way to try to get ourselves back to our assembly area.
1906, understand that you have a wounded front seater that you have dropped off and you're able to take off and return single pilot.
No. Negative. Alright, 1-9, this is 0 for you. He's 1-6 has got a pressure dressing on his neck. Have the medical attention at the assembly area.
Roger, understand you did not have to make the swap. You're both going back.
Roger. Roger, with you. 1916, how much longer? This is 19, stand by. Almost our time there. Here. 53 nautical miles, dude. Shit. 0913, I'll take your 16 is 19, we'll stay 3 nautical miles away from CST. Hang with it, we'll get there.
At that point, I gave the order to avoid urban areas. That's where we're getting the fire from. Fly where you gotta fly to get safely back to the assembly area.
It was like a lot longer back than it was out there.
Tracer fires out to the left, no fire.
Coming right. We want to get over to that dead space out there.
Roger.
Okay.
I want to take it through this dark area here. Be coming left. Alright, a lot of dark area. Hey, Tail Rider 19, this is 6-shooter 6 on 438, over. This is 19, go ahead. 2010. How you doing back there? You with us? Yeah, we had a 2 to the east. I got hit again. I've got multiple problems with this aircraft. My wing 19 or 16 is wounded in the neck. We're trying to get medical attention when we get back. Roger. We'll get a medical attention. You just hang with us here. I'm not sure. My guns failed twice, but help me with suppression if you can. Motherfucking God. I'm getting Roger. There's a vehicle to our left. I don't have a gun. Right now. Stand by. Oh shit, taking fire. To the left. Break right. I tried to shoot, man. The gun's fucked up.
Oh shit.
You can make that.
Is that 06 or somebody else?
In the red. Yes, sir, motherfucker.
Alright, you little fuckers. Come on, shoot at me again.
Baddest ass chicken and damn Apache yet, aren't you?
Yeah, right.
Hey, 06, I'm gonna cut right through this okay. Speed up a little bit more, 19, my front seater's critical. Okay.
A dogfight for an hour, trying to get back. It wasn't until about 5 or 10 minutes before we actually got back to Rams that the fire had stopped.
Well, let's see, the FCR failed, so they shot that. The GPS failed, so they must have shot that.
Engine 1 is out, their backup control system seems to be working, and they're continuing to work south.
A lot of blades were damaged, so you had a lot of vibrations in the aircraft. Aircraft were leaking fuel. Some didn't have sighting systems on them.
Hey, can you just keep flying towards Germany? That would be good, thanks.
So we're just begun there, LT.
1630 on, yeah,
Get this again tomorrow night.
half our combat power is destroyed. The one that's crashed at takeoff. We got 3 that are shot up pretty bad in the words of 19.
Roger, we are in front of you. Roger, just a beam, 07. We're probably about 10 kilometers to the east of it.
Okay, that's about where we're at. We'll be coming in from the west, looping back with a left turn, landing to the north. We'll be looking for you.
About 10 minutes before getting back to TA Rams, we thought it was over. But what had really happened is everybody was coming back at the same time.
But the way the mission was staged out, we should have all been coming back at different times. Because of the chaos that occurred and the mission being aborted, we all arrived back at the assembly area at the same time.
Meaning 2.5 squadrons of Apaches coming back to about a 3-mile radius area.
Get some aircraft off the nose.
All right, I got them under flare. We have got an aircraft at 12 o'clock. I'm looking at him through the system. Looking at him through the system. I don't see him otherwise. Do you see him on my video page?
Yeah.
All right, he's breaking to the right.
Remain clear to the east of ACP-7. Still left. Coming in to the left, there's an aircraft off the nose, passing left to right. 2010 on guard. 06, that might be the wounded aircraft that's trying to get in there now, so I'm going to slow back a little.
Team, sir, I'm just short of 10. Tail Rider 6 is just behind me by a couple of kilometers, sir. And we both got shot up aircraft pretty bad. You want us to hold short and allow the aircraft that are really shot up bad to get in first? You want us to go into land? No, I think we go ahead and get them on the ground.
Okay, 0906, put the airplane down. It doesn't have to be in your target space. Just put it down where you got space. Probably so. There's another aircraft I saw to your rear, I believe, if you're going to go around. I am making my approach to my parking pad. There's an aircraft in the air.
It is a mess. It is total chaos. They had engines shot out. They had systems shot out. They had to do roll-on landings. They couldn't see anything. They're just winging it.
You could land and get it on the ground, and we'll sort it out when the daylight comes up.
Hey, I'm just going to land short of the road. Fuck this shit, trying to get the same parking spot, because there's just too many people out here.
Who controls this assembly area? It's a madhouse. People are going to die out here from hitting each other.
Getting the aircraft on the ground, get it stopped, get it shut down, get out and kiss the ground.
Buck fail. One is gone. Still have control, and I've got Doing a go around. Cool. Actually, I'm gonna set up to the right here. Brake for me, sir. Brake for me.
Altitude slow.
6006, tail rider 19.
Altitude slow. Altitude slow. Altitude slow.
And 29 affirmative that we're all down, but we need to get medical attention to the northernmost aircraft on the parking row.
All right, just stand fast, okay? You sit right there. You just stay right where you're at.
6 Rider 29438.
I'll be out in a minute, and I'll come up there.
There were probably 2 or 3 times where they had to stop and revive Jason. You know, those Army docs did yeoman's work. They saved Jason King's life that night.
And when I got out, I started surveying. I wasn't even sure exactly where we had landed, but off in the distance, I could see the one red chem light. So I gathered up my team, and then we all kind of walked in together in the dark, and we met around the termite mound. I started calling off names.
Mr. Stuman, Lieutenant Brule, Mr. Tomlin, Mr. Johnson.
We just checked everybody off. And I gotta tell you, man, when I got that last name checked off the list, it was euphoric. I've never been so happy as to have all the men and women safely back on the ground. Because I gotta tell you, it was not evident to me that that's what was gonna happen at all. And so in the dark, you know, as I'm calling off all the names and they're responding, it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. And at that point, I knew that we were going to be forever linked as a group of warriors that had just been through a pretty intense situation, and that we were all so ecstatic to see each other again. And I think at the time I said, you know, it was only by the grace of God that we had managed to get everybody back there in that assembly area together, because we had really been shot up pretty bad on that mission.
I woke up in the 86 cache back on Camp Udari. So I think I'd been gone from Camp Udari for less than 24 hours on my first combat mission. Not ideal, not ideal. I still have the shrapnel, which is kind of cool. I think I might melt it down and mold it into something someday for my kids. When people ask about the first few days of the war, I don't get into any kind of detail, but I tell them that the first time that you're shot at and the first time that you have to pull the trigger, your morality changes. And I tell them about your mortality. When you're shot at and not hit, You can still think you're that youthful immortal, but the first time you're hit, you realize, you know, I'm not immortal.
There's a story about the pilots that flew it. It's only half the story. The other story is about the men and women who fixed those airplanes.
We roll in, and it looked like something out of Mad Max. It looked like just post-apocalyptic destruction. There was aircraft rolled over, everything was covered in dirt. They were shot to shit.
We all wrote letters to Boeing, told them how much we appreciated the aircraft.
There were blades with 20-millimeter bullet holes through them that came back. Drive shafts that had been shot clean through that didn't fail.
And those aircraft, as badly damaged as they were, with bullet holes everywhere, we were flying those aircraft 10 days later on another major mission.
We went on a deep attack the first night of the war. We were told, you guys need to go pick the fight with the bully. And we did that. I look at it now, I don't consider it a failure. The information that we brought back, a negative report of enemy armor, was still the report that that ground forces commander needed.
Throughout the history of our armed forces, and especially the U.S. Army, one of the things that I think I'm most proud of is the fact that even though we don't always succeed in our missions, we always learn from it. We focus on being better. In 2003, we were not successful in that combat mission, other than the fact that we were able to bring all of our folks home from that mission. What was successful about that mission was that it was a forcing function of change that brought about new tactics, in some cases revisiting tactics that we relearned from experiences in Vietnam. Had we had nothing but success and never faced any of the challenges, obstacles from our initial combat operations, we wouldn't have adapted and learned and been successful later on. Much of what our success is today in Afghanistan and Iraq owes from the lessons learned early in combat, and our Army has had experience after experience with that. We're not always successful in our first outing in combat, but the mark of professional soldiering is that you learn, you adapt, and you come back and you fight the next day better than you did the day before.
night that seems a million miles away. I need to find my guiding star. Wherever you go, there you are. Yeah, there you are. Flying high never keeps you off the ground. Up above you, just see where you're coming down. You make a friend of the sky when you're in flight. Things change and you fall from flying high. My broken wings keep me up. Lost time, there's just not enough. Seems years all been lost. All this time at what cost? I don't leave any shadow up here. No trace of me anywhere. No trace of me, that's clear. Flying high never keeps you off the ground. Up above you, just see where you're coming down. You make a friend of the sky when you're in flight. Things change when you fall from flying high. Flying high never keeps you off the ground. Up above you, just see where you're coming down. You make a friend of the sky when you're in flight. Things change when you fall from flying high. Woo. Things change when you fall from flying high.
In the silence we believe the frailty of you and me. We brave the fallen, seek the sullen, fall together. Slowly fell into a dream. Don't wake me or I'll hear the screams of children crying, mothers praying, fathers failing. Oh, oh.
listening, the sound of hope and suffering.